Ah, the winds of change are blowing through the Balkans, and for the first time the government of Serbia has declared its intention to shift its foreign policy and impose sanctions on Russia. The foreign minister, Ivica Dačić, spoke of this as a measure that serves Serbia's best interests. He condemned the military operation in Ukraine and criticized Moscow for violating Ukraine's territorial integrity. And in a shocking turn of events, the Prime Minister, Ana Brnabić, labeled Russia an aggressor, a term never before used by a Serbian government official. She praised the European Union as Serbia's biggest investor and donor, and now it seems the Serbian government has adopted an openly anti-Russia stance, marking a radical change in its diplomatic approach. So what changed? Why are the Balkans suddenly against one of their oldest supporters? And what does this mean for the war? Welcome to Around the World, and today we will be looking at the real reason Serbia has U-turned on Russia. Serbia has long been considered a close ally of Russia, with deep cultural and historical ties that date back centuries. However, in recent years this relationship has shifted, and many in Serbia have turned against Russia. The shift has grown so much that President Alexander Vučić, a significant ally of Russia, rejected Putin's claims of territorial gains in Ukraine and stated that he had not spoken to the Russian president in many months. He also emphasized that Serbia would not back the Russian military operation in Ukraine, and that Crimea and Donbas would remain a part of Ukraine. But what could have led to this sudden change of course in Serbia's foreign policy? Why is Belgrade speaking the language of the US and Europe, which have consistently disregarded its sovereignty and territorial integrity? The answer, it seems, lies in the actions of the Russian government and its private mercenary group, the Wagner Group. The group tried to recruit soldiers for the war in Ukraine, with recruitment ads appearing on Russian websites and social media groups in Serbia. This incensed President Vučić, who condemned Moscow and called for an immediate halt to the practice. Some have suggested that Vučić was being pressured and blackmailed by the European Union, who threatened to incorporate Belgrade into the EU and allow member states to invest in Serbia if it adopted their Franco-German plan. See, one of the primary drivers of Serbia's shift away from Russia is politics. Over the past decade, Serbia has been working to integrate more closely with the European Union, which is seen as a more stable and prosperous partner than Russia. This process has been slow and difficult, with Serbia facing many challenges along the way, but the ultimate goal is to become a member of the EU and enjoy all the benefits that come with this status. This has put pressure on Serbia to distance itself from Russia, as the EU is wary of any close ties between its member states and countries as seen as adversaries. However, the current statement of the finance minister, Ivica Dačić, suggests that the Serbian government is truly frustrated with Russia. In such a politically unstable moment, the Russian government should have supported Serbia against the countless attacks from the West, but instead it was focused on recruiting Serbs for its war against Kiev. This deplorable action has made President Vučić and Prime Minister Brnabić realize that Moscow is only concerned with its own interests, not those of its allies. And so, Serbia calls for the imposition of sanctions on Russia. But Belgrade must tread carefully, as cutting ties with Moscow could have drastic consequences for its security, sovereignty, and stability. Another reason for Serbia's move away from Russia is economics. See, it is no secret, thanks partially to the ongoing war, that Russia is facing significant economic challenges, including high levels of debt and a slowing growth rate. This has led to decreased investment in Serbia and has impacted the country's economic prospects. Meanwhile, the EU has been a much more stable and reliable economic partner for Serbia, providing the country with significant investment and support. As such, Serbia has been re-evaluating its strategic interests in the region and beyond. With the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, many in Serbia are becoming increasingly concerned about the security implications of maintaining close ties with Russia. To make matters worse, the EU has been more proactive in recent years in seeking to strengthen its influence in the Western Balkans, including Serbia. This has provided Serbia an attractive alternative to its traditional relationship with Russia. So what does this mean for the country, the war, and the world at large? According to many experts, the shift in Serbia's relationship with Russia has significant implications for the country, the region, and the world at large. For Serbia, a land of rich culture, history, and diversity, this shift toward the European Union is a crucial step in its journey toward modernization and growth as the country recognizes the opportunities that have come with aligning itself with one of the largest and most prosperous economic blocs in the world. The EU provides access to its vast markets, investments, and various other benefits that will help Serbia's economy grow and prosper. But this shift is not without its challenges, as balancing relationships with both the EU and Russia requires a delicate touch and a clear strategy. The political landscape is complex, and navigating it can be a daunting task. For the region, this shift away from Russia means that the Balkans are becoming increasingly integrated with Europe and less aligned with Russia. This has implications for the stability and security of the region, particularly as the EU seeks to expand its influence and prevent Russian interference in other countries' affairs, especially their sovereignty. At the global level, this shift is a reflection of the changing balance of power and the shifting geopolitical landscape. As Russia faces economic and political challenges, countries that have historically been aligned with Moscow are increasingly looking elsewhere for partnerships and alliances. This has implications for global security and stability, particularly as the competition between major powers continues to evolve. Despite this shift, the conflict in Ukraine remains largely driven by domestic factors, including historical tensions, political power struggles, and the desire of certain regions to break away from Ukrainian government control. While Russia has been involved in the conflict and has provided support to separatist groups in Ukraine, the shift of a small country like Serbia away from Russia's sphere of influence is unlikely to have a major impact on the ongoing conflict. However, it could signal a change in the geopolitical landscape of the region and could potentially lead to a shift in the balance of power. For example, if other countries in the region follow Serbia's lead and move away from Russia's influence, it could weaken Russia's ability to support separatist groups in Ukraine and potentially lead to a resolution of the conflict. Additionally, it could also lead to a change in the power dynamics between Russia and the EU in the region. As the sun sets on another day, Serbia stands proud, having made the brave and historic decision to shift away from Russia's influence. This shift signals a new era in Serbian history, one marked by the courage to chart its own course and forge new alliances. Today, the world watches with admiration as Serbia takes this bold step and realizes the significance of this moment. The shift away from Russia is not just about Serbia, but about the future of the entire region and the world. As Serbia reaches out to build new relationships with other countries, it inspires others to do the same, sending a message of hope and unity across the world. By breaking away from the old divisions and alignments of the past, Serbia opens up new opportunities for cooperation, collaboration, and mutual respect between nations. The world is a better place for this shift as the walls of mistrust and hostility are slowly but surely dismantled and replaced with bridges of understanding and peace. The shift from Russia may have started in Serbia, but it will ripple outward, affecting the entire world in ways we can only imagine. With a bright and hopeful future ahead, Serbia takes its place among the nations of the world, determined to make a positive impact, heal the wounds of the past, and to build a brighter future for all. The world looks on with hope and admiration as Serbia takes its first step towards a new dawn and a new way of life. But what do you think of Serbia's separation? Is this a step in the right direction? Or have they just placed a bullseye on their back for Russia to target next? Let us know in the comment below. And if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and while you're at it, why not check out this video?